Rod Pedersen Show, waiting for the Rod Pedersen Show. And I can't get in. It's not showing up live on YouTube. So it's probably just a me problem. Guys, tell me what I'm doing wrong. And Jordan. Oh, they just said it's a glitch on their end, not ours. So there you go. Now you know the rest of the story. Ready to talk sports? Moose, why don't you tell the folks where you're at, by the way, if you don't mind?
Yeah. What did you thought courtroom? Classroom. It's a classroom.
But you were in a courtroom. Yeah. It looks like an episode of American Justice.
I know. I look like a science teacher. I'm actually back home in Wynyard. This is cool. And the school reached out. So I'm actually in the Wynyard campus at high school. I haven't been in this building in like 15 years, 10 to 15 years. So I had the whole tour, and we're doing it from the computer lab today. The next 2 days after this, Wednesday and Thursday, I'll be in the school too. So probably in the gym by then, but this is their last day of classes. So I found an empty classroom.
Oh, awesome. Merry Christmas to those kids. When I left my school, my high school in my small town, I didn't want to ever go back. And I think I gave it a double, you know what. Nothing against the teachers, nothing against the school, but I didn't like school. And that's why I went on to be a best-selling author and have a few plaudits in this perilous trade. But school wasn't really for me. So it's cool that you wanted to go back to your hometown and do a show from the school. I've never even thought of doing that. So, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas where you're from. And yeah, now that you say that, it doesn't look as much like a courtroom, more like a classroom. But yeah. Hey, coming up on the program today, if he's still available, Frank Seravalli from Faceoff Daily, the hockey show. He's breaking stories left and right. We do have breaking news. If we had the bell, we'd break it. Frank Seravalli reporting this morning that the NHL players and NHLPA have voted to not go to the Beijing games. So coming up in about 40 minutes time, Frank will be joining us to talk about his scoop. Man, he's got more scoops than Ben and Jerry. And we can jump into that. See, that's why I don't plan too much for this show, Moose, as to what we're going to talk about, because breaking news happens all the time. And I think we said since Monday, which seems so long ago, that if the NHL players don't go, it's for me, it's we'll watch it anyways. But that's my take on that. And then in hour two, Jeff Reinebold, the special teams coordinator of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, will be joining us. Can we jump into the direct West? Director Jordan, can we jump into the quick six show topics, please, if you don't mind? Please and thank you. Part of the problem here is I got both earphones in, and it's blowing me out again, Moose, which is fine. You see, I'm back here in Del Boca Vista, not at the beach house, so we've got strong like bull internet. And the sound's coming through like crazy. And by the way, as my dad said, for whatever reason, this is reminding me, my dad always said, learning ain't all in the books. You know what I mean?
Isn't that true? Except
he's
around
okay
here,
that I didn't really like
the greatest educational facility of all time.
He was okay that I didn't care for school that much. Anyways, so it just seems like last night, Joe Pavelski and Esa Lindell scored on the first two Dallas shots on goal on the night, and the Stars never trailed in defeating the Minnesota Wild 7-4 in the NHL's only game. Joe Pavelski put in a backhand 131 into the game. Lindell scored shorthanded and unassisted with a shot between Cam Talbot's legs 153 later. I don't know if you saw the highlights or not, but of course Talbot got lifted and the Stars fans were chanting, "We want Talbot." I don't know if you saw that at all, but it was kind of funny. Stars season high 7 goals came from 7 different players as Dallas improved to 11-1 in their last 12 home games. And I got up this morning, had a notification on my phone that the NHL had completely suspended all play until after the Christmas break. And then I'm like, no. There are 2 games tonight. Washington's at Philadelphia. The Tampa Bay Lightning are at the Vegas Golden Knights. So I'm going to roll that over into point 2 here. The Golden Knights are being criticized for this. They sent out a statement yesterday, and it reads, Monday, the NHL announced that due to COVID and player safety protocols, the Vegas Golden Knights home game this Thursday versus the LA Kings has been postponed. A makeup date has yet to be announced. In all caps, please note that Tuesday night's game against the Tampa Bay Lightning is set to take place as scheduled. Into lowercase, we apologize for any inconvenience, but our number one priority is the health and safety of our fans and players. When I say the Golden Knights are being criticized, I read this on their Instagram, and like an idiot, I went into the comments, which I shouldn't have done, but I was just feeling frisky, and I did. And some of the comments that came in from I don't even know if they're their own fans or not, but one guy said, Tuesday's game isn't a threat, but Thursday's is. And then, you know what I mean? That's why I went in. For the hilarity ensued from what's the difference between Thursday's game and Tuesday's game? So my point is, there's 2 NHL games tonight. I just said there's 2 NFL games tonight, the Seahawks and the Rams, the Washington football team and the Eagles. And the question I'm putting to the viewers is, and it's our daily poll question for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center, should the NHL and NFL be playing amid the pandemic and the current COVID environment? Now, the last I looked on Twitter, 80% saying yes, they should. Over 80% on Twitter. I haven't seen the YouTube numbers. Clark tracks that, and we just posted it, so it's a little early to get any kind of a sample size on that. 55% saying yes, Moose, which means milestone math. 45% say no, they shouldn't. And my take on this is, who's the 45%? Who would possibly say they shouldn't be playing 21 months into this? But to each their own. I voted yes, they should be playing. Enough of this. They're not sick. And I've been doing all the talking here for the opening 7 minutes of the warm-up, so why don't you take over? What do you think about all of what I've just said?
No, I agree. Like, I think that they should play. I don't think that they, shouldn't. Now, it's a hypocritical statement because there's, like you said, right? Thursday's a threat, but Tuesday's not a threat, right? How does that make sense in terms of, are you going to play games? But there's going to be 2 games in the NHL tonight, 2 games in the National Football League, but Thursday's games are going to be postponed. So it doesn't make sense. Here's the only sense I make of it is that, from a threat point of view and spreading a virus and doing different things, I would assume that when this came down, these teams, Philly and Tampa, I think those are the 2 road teams, have already traveled, right? That's already done. So they're already in those cities. So if they're in the cities, the threat of traveling and spreading city to city, not an issue, right? They're going to do all the same things. They'll maybe make sure the fans and players have less interaction, but that's already been the case. When it comes to Thursday, those teams haven't traveled into new cities yet. So we're going to limit that travel, limit all of that. So that's the difference between Tuesday and Thursday for me. And when it comes to the NFL is not shutting down, I don't think. And I don't expect the NFL
they're moving
to pause
games.
any games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
games
moving
around
games
because
they're
of
not
the protocol,
shutting down games. Yeah.
But they won't shut down. So they're going to continue to go ahead. So I vote yes.
Washington and Tampa are the road teams, as a matter of fact. But here's the thing with people that are upset, or players and coaches too. The leagues don't want to do this, okay? Because here's the thing. If you're not playing, nobody gets paid. You and I aren't on the air. Nobody gets paid. We don't want to be shut down, so don't be upset at the leagues. Nobody wants this. It is what it is. I'm going to move on to Monday Night Football. It wasn't really a doubleheader, but there were 2 games. Daniel Carlson's 48-yard field goal as time expired sent the Las Vegas Raiders to a 16-14 win on Monday night over the COVID-19 depleted Cleveland Browns in a game pushed back 2 days by the NFL amid an uptake of virus cases around the league. You can see I'm trying to limit the COVID talk as much as I can, but it's pretty hard when it impacts the games to this degree and the leagues. But you can see why coaches are upset. They had their 3rd-string quarterback for Cleveland last night. Baker Mayfield's like, but I'm not sick. But you keep testing positive, so you can't play. And maybe Kevin Stefanski gets fired because the Browns, Darren, had they won, they'd be in first place. They lost. They're now in last place in the AFC North. That's the difference here. And because of COVID regulations, they may miss the playoffs and Stefanski might lose his job. And then in the other game last night, Kirk Cousins threw 2 touchdown passes and the Minnesota Vikings beat the struggling and shorthanded Bears 17-9. The Vikings are now 7-7, part of a tight pack of teams vying for one of the NFC's 7 playoff spots. They were in line for their most lopsided win before Justin Fields threw a touchdown pass late to Jesper Horsted on the game's final play. The Bears officially eliminated. So before I move on to what will be a much more fun topic, and that is the NHL's most annoying fan base, and this was sent to me today, but I don't know what the survey company was. I don't know where it came from. I just had the results sent to me, and that's fun. But you can see why coaches and GMs are mad. Just the Cleveland Browns are a great example. This is a game they had to have, but they didn't have their top 2 quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield or Case Keenum, so they play their 3rd-string guy and they lose, and they might all get fired. So you can see why they would be very upset in a situation like this.
Well, for sure. But on the other side, you can see also why the Raiders might be upset, because they were, for the most part, okay. And they wanted the game to be played Sunday. It's like, it's their fault they're all in the protocol here. It's not our fault. Play the game, right? So I get it both sides. Now, the Raiders ended up coming away with the win, a big win. You're right. It has really hurt the Cleveland Browns. But you've known the protocols of the protocols. They still had a chance in the football game down the stretch. I thought they mismanaged the final drive in the football game, and gave Vegas too much time on the clock, with a good quarterback. Derek Carr's a good quarterback, and you gave him time, and they ended up getting the field goal. And then the other game, Minnesota, again, just can't put games and teams away. They can't. I think Kirk Cousins finished with less than 90 passing yards in the football game, still had 2 touchdown passes. But I'm like, Kirk, just show me something here. This is a 7-7 team. This is a team that likely they have a really good shot at making the playoffs in the NFC. But unless Kirk Cousins can show me an ability to put teams away and actually win convincingly, it's going to be hard to have any confidence in the Minnesota Vikings. And that's tough because we know a lot of Vikings.
Did you see the interview with Kirk Cousins? I think it was on ESPN the other day. They're like, why do you never get any credit, Kirk? And he's like, well, I've never, I'm better than a quarterback that's on a 3-13 team, but I've never been on a 13-3 team either. Right? He's like, I got to be dominant. I got to win. And yeah.
Alex Smith asked him the hard question. He's like, where are you? You haven't had success. What do you think? And he was pretty real about it. So kudos to Kirk for being candid.
To some comments, because it's fun. It's fun here. They're wondering why you're in a school. He's in his hometown school, folks, just so you know. Jamie in Halifax says, I've never seen a PC like the ones behind Dupes. He says, it's all iPads now. No, it's all ball bearings nowadays.
Jamie goes on TV to say, in the corner. I'll show you later.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in from Calgary, says, I'm so old. My school had a computer, singular. He says, an Apple IIe. From my cousin Christine in Medicine Hat. She says, I'm so old. There were no computers at my school. Another from Jamie in Nova Scotia, Canada. He says, Rod Pedersen used a Commodore PC growing up. Which I did. So what? David Cooper, I don't know what, from way out of left field. You see that comment from David Cooper watching on YouTube? He says, so what planet is the CFL commissioner on? First failed in Parliament, then the XFL, which would destroy the Canadian game, and now the possibility of 4 downs. This guy needs to go. David, that was so last Friday. But thanks for checking in. Brett Thompson says, good morning from Saskatoon. I'm just pausing to sprinkle in a few viewer comments as we move on to the NHL's most annoying fan survey. Again, I don't know where it came from. I don't care. But producer Clark has the graphic. If you don't mind throwing it up, by a large margin, the Toronto Maple Leafs are voted the most annoying fan base in the National Hockey League. And frankly, I must agree. And I'm surrounded by them. Darren Moose DuPont and producer Clark, both Leaf fans, both highly annoying.
How about that?
Number 2, the Montreal Canadiens fans, the second most annoying in the NHL, which I would also go along with, but I'm just very happy and grateful that they've welcomed me when they went to the Stanley Cup final. They were great to us last year. I like them. They're just highly annoying. The cool thing about Montreal Canadiens fans, throw it back up, I'm not done, is they know they're annoying and they don't care. Leafs fans don't even know that they're that annoying, which makes them the most annoying.
Bingo!
Third, Boston Bruins fans, and I'm not around them enough to offer a judgment on that or not. 4 Edmonton Oilers fans, yes, highly annoying. 5th, New York Islanders fans, just violent, outright violent. Stay away from them. Vancouver Canucks fans voted the 6th most annoying fan base. They're damaged. Leave them be. And then you got your you got your New York Rangers, you got us Golden Knights fans, which I don't think we're that annoying. Why would we? We've never even won a Stanley Cup in our entire existence. Us Golden Knights fan. How could you be upset at us? Then you see your Pittsburgh, your Philly, your Washington, Chicago. Don't be fooled by the Calgary Flames, okay, at the bottom of the list, because this is only like 17, 18 teams. There's like 14 other teams behind them, okay? So just on this curve, Leafs most annoying, Flames least annoying, but they're missing half the league. Okay, Darren, over to you. Your take on that list.
I can't say anything. Because if I say something, that's me being an annoying Leafs fan. And if I try and give some unbiased, analysis here, one of the things I would say is you look at the top of that list. It's all the most popular teams in the league, right? So that's what you're going to get. The most popular teams are going to get voted on, and the teams at the bottom are largely irrelevant, right? In terms of fan bases. But, of course, Leafs are annoying. Oiler fans are annoying. They're all annoying. The Vegas thing, and I see why Vegas gets votes, is because you haven't won anything, but you think you're the best team in the league, right? So there's that.
We are. Hello.
So it is. It's so much fun having surveys like this and seeing fan bases go back and forth with each other. I think that's highly entertaining. But it's funny. Like, all these other teams are just like a smidge better, and the Leafs are just like whopping.
But it's true. I don't know where the survey came from. I don't. But I agree with it. Is it the morning announcements, Darren? Ring.
It is. It's echoing in the room.
I thought school was out.
Unexpected.
Listen, to the viewers, tell us who you think the most annoying fan base is in the National Hockey League. We'd love to know. Taco Time viewer takeover is open. We're not even through all of our quick six show topics. We still have to talk World Juniors. We're going to talk about the Myrtle Beach Bowl results last night and 2 more bowl games today, Darren, the Potato Bowl and the Frisco Bowl. We're going to talk about those. We're late for a break. We'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio. Round the clock we go at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Big time. Big time.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds, feel in the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama, I live for the emotion. No one can take me down, bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL. Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
RP Show continues on this Tuesday, December 22nd. Happy winter solstice, everybody. December 22nd. It is my Grandpa Marion's birthday, by the way. He's not with us anymore, but he was born on the winter solstice. So we delve back into things. The RP Show coming to you from Del Boca Vista, Florida, and the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. That's where the Moose is hanging his hat. Let's keep going, Moose, if you don't mind. And I appreciate everybody chiming in with their comments as we go. World Juniors, Caden Gooley has been named Canada's captain for the upcoming World Junior Hockey Championship. Jake Neighbors and Cole Perfetti, Mom Spaghetti, who won gold at this year's Men's World Championship in Riga, Latvia, will serve alongside Gooley as alternate captains. Gooley, a defenseman from Sherwood Park, Alberta, and Neighbors, a winger from Calgary, are teammates on the WHL's Edmonton Oil Kings, while Perfetti, a center from Whitby, Ontario, is in his second season with the AHL's Manitoba Moose. Canada announced its 25-player roster on December 12th, and they will open their tournament on December 26th against the Czechs in Edmonton. So there's your daily World Juniors update. And again, coming up Friday, Christmas Eve, it's our annual World Juniors preview special right here. Airs at noon Eastern. We'll be joined by Hockey Canada's Director of Player Personnel, Alan Miller, Hockey Canada Assistant Coach Mike Dick, from USA Hockey Elite Prospects, Julie Robenheimer, and Flames broadcaster Peter Labardius. Before we delve into the CFL one-year contract talk, which I think is a nice carryover from yesterday's discussion with Solomon Elamimian, who incidentally was the rock star of the day for Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions. I want to throw that out there. Solomon Elamimian was the rock star of the day yesterday. There you go. From the Myrtle Beach Bowl in Conway, South Carolina on Monday, Davis Brin threw for 285 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Tulsa closed the season with its fourth straight victory, beating Old Dominion 30-17 at the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Somebody please remind me who was the quarterback in the CFL who played at Old Dominion. Who was that? I'm not asking you to remember, Darren, but maybe you do. I don't remember. I remember filling into my depth charts. He played at Old Dominion. It was with the BC Lions, and I don't think it's Danny O'Brien because he played at Catawba College, but there was a BC Lion. Thomas DeMarco. Nobody would have got that. Nobody would have got that. Clark told me in my ear. Did you Google it, Clark? It was Clark. How did you find it, Clark? How about that? So anyways, his alma mater lost in the Myrtle Beach Bowl 30-17 to Tulsa. Josh Johnson had 8 receptions for 129 yards, including a 23-yard reception, as the Golden Hurricane won their second straight bowl game and third in their last 4 appearances. And I ask you this, Moose, because it's a doubleheader today. Okay. The Potato Bowl at 3:30 p.m. Eastern features Wyoming versus Kent State, followed by the Frisco Bowl, which is San Diego State versus the University of Texas, San Antonio, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Why will Canadians sit around the television and watch 2 college teams where they could not, for $1 billion, name one player on each side? That's cool that you do, but you don't watch regular season junior hockey any other time of the year when you don't know any of the players either. You know, if you're like a Shawinigan Drummondville game, you're not watching if you're from Vancouver. Why?
No.
I'll wait. Tell me.
I know. At least the World Juniors has the Canada aspect, right? The World Juniors has the Canada aspect. When it comes to the bowl games, It's like, why do we watch March Madness? We think we're March Madness experts and we're college basketball aficionados.
We don't. We don't watch it. Stop it. Yeah.
We don't watch college basketball all year, but we watch March Madness. I really think, it's crazy. So at the bowl games, it's because it's the holidays and this is our time. If we watch now, we can say we're college football fans.
Okay. Well, but that's not the answer for me. The reason I'll watch bowl games with two teams that I have no idea who the players are, it's because the game is better than hockey. Like, how many times can you really break out of a zone? How many power play designs are there really? Whereas there are so many formations in football on offense and defense, particularly offense, that to me, the game's more fun to watch. Does that hold any water with you?
How about that?
Yeah, no, it does. Absolutely. For sure. Like, I mean, in hockey, there's only so many 0-0 games or 1-0 games that you can watch if you don't know who's playing or don't care.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to say who the coach was with the Pats. He was an assistant coach. I'm not going to name him. But because you've been on those bus trips, you sit around and you literally talk about everything. You talk they used to. We used to. I got on a bus trip with the Pats a few years ago. I was doing fill-in on the radio, and I couldn't believe that the coaches weren't talking to each other, or that everybody's on their laptops or on their phone. Nobody's talking to each other. And I'm like, well, that's how things have changed from my day. We used to sit and talk, and not the Pats' fault. They probably just didn't want to talk to me. I'm just saying nobody was talking. But we were, back in the day, this guy's nickname was the old right winger. He nicknamed himself the old right winger, and then we nicknamed him the old hot winger off of that because one night he ordered hot wings for a post-game meal and half the team got sick because there was a bad batch. So from that point on, he became the old hot winger. But anyways, we're visiting on the bus, and he goes, why do you watch basketball? Why do you even watch basketball highlights? How many different ways is there for a ball to go through a hoop? And I thought, man, it must be brutal to be so cynical. But it never left me, right? So I'm like, he's right. Yeah, I get it. I can't unhear it. The old hot winger. And anyways, my point is, with hockey, I love it, but I have a tough time watching games that aren't regional. You know what I mean? Whereas I think that's why we can watch the bowl games if we're fans of the game. Because it doesn't matter what the names are across the back. It's an interesting game to watch. Jim Wagner.
That's right.
Writes in on the 902 number, 902-518-3033. He says, I love the topic of the most annoying NHL fans. This is the stuff that has us tuned in every day. Thanks, crew. I agree. That's why we do what we do. Randy from the Peg writes in and he says, good morning, Rod and Moose. Just wishing you a Merry Taco Christmas and Happy Mexi Fry New Year. How about that?
How about that?
He says, looking forward to the juniors tournament. Don't forget Jordan, Clark, Ryan, Paul, Rolf. Yes, we have a guy on the staff named Rolf. Don't forget all those guys. I think Randy in Winnipeg is the leader of the pack for the week for Taco Time comment of the week. Wishing you a Merry Taco Christmas and Happy Mexi Fry New Year. Like literally Taco Time should take that and put it in their advertising on their social media posts. What do you think?
I know, right? This clip should be in their social media, 100%. I'm waiting for somebody to give me something really fun.
Well, I think they should take, no credit needs to be given. I just think they should put it on their Merry Taco Christmas. Happy Mexi Fry New Year. They don't need to give any credit to anybody.
Yeah. Right.
Randy.
That should be their slogan.
You're in the lead. You're in the lead, Randy. Jamie writing from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, watching an R on Game Plus. Hey, RP. Happy World Junior season. It's unfortunate one player from the Guelph Griffins in OUA hockey has left mid-semester for semi-pro hockey. What's unfortunate about that? He goes on to say, I see a domino effect happening during the Christmas break, and when U Sport does return, many will have followed the Griffin leading scorer. Well, OUA hockey's been shut down. I was just told this morning that Canada West has a meeting tomorrow to decide, this is for hockey, if they're going to be shut down. So, hey, the guy's doing what's best for him. What have we learned in COVID? Welcome to COVID. Hashtag every man for himself. What are we surprised by this? Anyways, Jamie goes on to say, Merry Christmas to the whole gang at the RP show and at the Squadcast. Have a wonderful week before Santa comes. Again, welcome to COVID. Hashtag every man for himself. That has not changed. In the time that we have left, as we've gone through the bowl talk here, the CFL one-year contract thing, and we got to spend a minute on that. Solomon Elamimian on here yesterday, the Players Association president, saying that, hey, we get that one-year contracts aren't good for the CFL, but it's what the players want. And 3-4-year contracts are really only one-year contracts anyways because they're not guaranteed nor honored by the teams. So I don't want to be that guy, but here's my soliloquy on that. While they want to hold hands and come out of the boardroom, the owners and the players, and say, we're all together, we love each other, and we're going to play, they don't trust each other. They don't trust each other one bit. At all. And Saul basically said that yesterday. He says, we need more of a commitment from the teams before we go into signing multi-year contracts. That's not going to happen. So I say, God bless them and good luck getting a new CBA done and let's play ball. But I'm not going to say they don't like each other, but I will say they don't trust each other. And this is the number one topic I see coming out of the CFL this offseason is, this is terrible. 380 free agents, one-year contracts, ruining the CFL. Nobody's willing to do anything to change it. So if you're going to buy a jersey, buy retro. I've long said that. I have a Jeff Fairholm jersey, Rough Riders. You see a lot of Lancaster, Reeds, Jerson, Durant, Austin, Joseph, blah, blah, blah. This is why. Because you can't buy your favorite team's jersey. Over to you.
You're right. You're right. And I know the commissioner works for the owners, but the commissioner's looking at, okay, what's best for the game? But the owners are looking at what's best for the owners. The players are looking at what's best for the players. So when the players and owners are negotiating, they're not really looking at what's best for the game. They're looking at what's best for them, as they should. But how do you get to a point where we can have longer term deals? And it comes down to, I think, a little bit of the owners and the general managers having more value in veteran players. You know, right now they think that it's easy to expect, to swap them out for rookies who can produce close to the same, value on the field in terms of production. So it's easier to go cheaper and younger every year. And we don't want to commit to somebody who might be older or who might not be as good next year because we see a change in player performance from year to year. But the players want to get paid and they want guaranteed bonuses and they want a little bit more upfront honesty. But these are all very romantic things. I don't think it's going to be an easy negotiation. I don't think it's going to be solved anytime soon.
No, but it is what it is. Why can't we just say it? But they don't want to say it. So, yes, Moose, we'll see you back here for hour 2.
Sounds good.
Folks, addiction, it destroys relationships, families, and lives. But the good news is addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center, recovery for life. Go to aurorarecoverycenter.com. Frank Seravalli joins us next. We've been wanting him for a long time, and we finally got him. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus television network across all 10 provinces and 31 states, including this beautiful state of Florida, on TDS Cable, YouTube Live daily and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might hit your head. That could cause a traumatic brain injury that, depending on how severe it is, could take months to heal or leave you with long-term effects. Effects like getting debilitating headaches for the rest of your life. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
A Landmark Cinemas $30 gift card with $40 in great movie savings is the perfect gift to give. Or give to yourself. Get yours today in theater or online at landmarkcinemas.com and make it a merry movie season. Landmark Cinemas, for movie lovers.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Christmas Eve, it's our World Junior Preview Special, noon Eastern, joined by members of Hockey Canada, plus Peter Labardius and elite prospects Julie Robenheimer. Noon to 2 Eastern on Game Plus and YouTube Live. All right, we're working on getting Frank Seravalli. It's a connection thing, but we'll have him shortly. We have some news to pass along, and it's ominous. It's not good. Out of Montreal, here's the news release. The Quebec Major Junior Hockey League has paused all activities until January the 7th. The league says the pause is necessary because of surging COVID-19 infection rates in Eastern Canada. Players will report back to their clubs on January 3rd. Who wants to start the timer on when the OHL and the Dub follow suit? Again, just announced within the last hour, the Quebec Major Junior League has paused all activities until January 7th due to COVID. By the way, the poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center, why don't we drop that right now? Should the NHL and NFL each be playing 2 games tonight on this Tuesday? Last I saw on Twitter, and I should have checked this in the break, but the last I saw on Twitter, 80% of you saying yes, they should be playing. On YouTube, it was 55%. And it's, here we go. 89, it's up 89% on Twitter saying yes, they should play. Enough's enough. Western Hockey League has announced that Moose Jaw Warriors forward Ryder Korzak has been named the WHL Player of the Week. In 3 games, the New York Rangers prospect and Yorkton Sask product recorded 7 points, registering 3 or more in 2 of his 3 appearances. He had 3 points against the Regina Pats on the weekend in one game. Red Deer Rebels goalie Connor Unger has been named WHL Goalie of the Week. He posted a 3-0 shutout, .99 GAA, 966 save percentage, and one shutty this past week, helping the Rebels enter the holiday break at 29-1-1. What a change under the Red Deer Rebels with a new coach, huh? Connor Unger, Goalie of the Week. Meanwhile, here's some news that I saw resonated nationally. The Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League is pleased to announce the return of the SJHL draft. The 2022 SJHL draft will be conducted in an unconventional and unprecedented manner, the league said in a news release. On June 1st, the SJHL draft will consist of 6 rounds of 2006-born players, followed by 2 rounds of players born in 2007. The SJHL teams are excited about the upcoming draft, and their scouting staffs are working as hard as ever in preparing for June 1st. More details will be released as we get closer to the date. What could it be? I wonder almost how they could, given where we sit here today, in an hour-by-hour scenario in which we live, could they say that it's going to be unprecedented and unconventional? They'll pull it off, I'm sure. I'm just wondering what they mean by that. Fred Van Vliet and Malachi Flynn have been added to the NBA's COVID-19 protocols by the Toronto Raptors. There are now 5 Raptors in league protocols. Gary Trent Jr. was added to Toronto's list Monday, joining Spicy P and Delano Banton. Toronto was set to host Orlando Monday night, but that game was postponed due to a COVID-19 outbreak on the Magic. Raptors players were limited to individual training sessions on Monday, with one player working with one coach at a time. How about that? Toronto scheduled to play in Chicago on Wednesday night. This sports update brought to you by Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games. Also for the Tap, Brewhouse, and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, and for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. So we're going to take a timeout, and when we come back, we are hoping to have Frank Seravalli. I see Sean McCormick, who's flying the ship in Toronto on the Game Plus headquarters in the control room, says the Flyers and Capitals just got postponed for tonight, so I just dropped my pen. But I will be stroking off that game. There's one tonight, Tampa Bay at Vegas, and let's see if that holds. Frank Seravalli has the latest. He broke the news this morning that the NHL will not be sending its players to the Olympics. We'll talk about that and more when we return. You're watching the RMP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might sprain your wrist, or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC.
Hey, Matt, how's it going? We have something really special.
Holy, it's pretty impressive.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Beautiful South Florida is where the RP Show comes to you from on this Tuesday. Happy winter solstice to you. It is daytime sports talk. We do have breaking news from the Canadian Football League. By the way, TSN's Farhan Lalji reporting that the Edmonton Elks are poised to name Chris Jones as their next head coach and general manager. So plenty to delve into coming back in hour 2. But we're talking hockey now with the Daily Faceoff's Frank Seravalli, the president of the Pro Hockey Writers Association. Frank, appreciate the time, man. Always good to see you and hear from you. And if I'm not mistaken, you broke the story this morning. The NHL and the Players Association have mutually agreed not to send the players to Beijing. What's the reaction been like to that story?
Well, I think the reaction from players is one of disappointment. I mean, you think back to the last best on best tournament that's been played for NHL players. It's the 2016 World Cup of Hockey. And back then we had Austin Matthews and Connor McDavid playing for Team North America. They haven't yet had a chance to really represent their country in a true best on best tournament among NHL players. And that's a shame for all of us. So there was definitely some disappointment. The players have been resigned to this fact, watching these things unfold over the last week, Rod. And now it's just a matter of time until we hear the official announcement that comes after the NHL and the PA jointly notify the IOC that they have plans to pull out from participating in the Olympics this year. So certainly disappointing news for all involved, perhaps maybe even in some ways, except for the NHL. They had made it clear what they wanted to see from this season. They did not want to send players to the Olympics. I don't think this is a moment, though, where the NHL is dancing around saying, ha, we told you so, or we're glad that you're not going. I think they understand the disappointment from the player side as well.
Well, Frank, I don't know that it ever gets reported what the actual vote was unless you know, but I'm just wondering if you could take us a little deeper into what went behind it, because you had Connor McDavid calling it unsettling, the idea of going, saying that last week, but then you got Steven Stamkos saying he wanted to go. How much of a split was there amongst the players on this issue?
There actually was no formal vote here. In this case, the NHLPA is working with the league, and they have certain parameters that they had to live with in their agreement with the NHL, going back to the collective bargaining agreement. And the agreement always was the NHL is willing to send its players to the Olympics so long as there's not a material disruption to the NHL schedule. We've now had 50 games postponed in the NHL, including one today between the Flyers and Washington Capitals. the late game tonight between the division-leading Tampa Bay Lightning and Vegas Golden Knights, that game is also in jeopardy. The Vegas Golden Knights, Rod, are bracing for some positive tests within their group. We could see, this holiday break beginning even earlier than the NHL had envisioned, and with 50 games now postponed, potentially 51 this season, including 45 or 46 in the last 8 days alone, the players saw the writing on the wall here. We're talking about 5% of the season schedule or close to it that's been disrupted to this point. Those games are going to need to be made up at some point. And what you're dealing with is an NHL schedule where there's not a lot of runway. There's no extra buffer zone that's in place this year. They want to get back to a typical hockey calendar, trying to avoid going deep into the summer as they have previously. And the draft date is set, free agent date is set. They need to start next season on time, and that leaves not a lot of wiggle room for players to really be in a spot where they can say, hey, look, we think we can get the Olympics in and the full 82-game season. It needs to be 82-game season first. Olympics are second priority.
Frank, apologies for gushing a little bit. I'm excited to talk to you. A big fan, and you're insider. You're probably the number one insider. Because of what you all just said, it seems like this caught the NHL off guard. Like, how chaotic is it behind the scenes right now that they didn't see this coming, this chaos that they're dealing with this week, not just with the Olympics, but all the postponed games?
Honestly, I'd refer to it as controlled chaos, because I think when you look at last season and how the NHL got through it, the highest number of players that were ever on the COVID protocol list is something like 55. Right now, we're approaching 130 players that are active on the COVID protocol list. It did certainly surprise the league as the calendar turned to December in terms of the uptick in positive cases. You're looking at a player population that is fully vaccinated with the exception of one player. And they were not expecting to be hit with this many positive tests, but the notion that they've sort of been living day by day since this pandemic started is to sort of be prepared for anything, be able to react to anything that pops up. So they certainly didn't want to be in the position to be postponing games. I'm sure teams that had to really trudge through it this season to start, like the New York Islanders missing so many players before they finally got shut down. There's lots of teams that are going to be unhappy here and say, well, how come this team has a game postponed? They're only missing 2 or 3 players. The NHL and the way that they test these players and the way that they break down the test results, they have a really good idea of exactly how contagious that player was, who he was spending time with, how likely it is to ripple through the team. And so they're making decisions on a case-by-case basis. And now that both sides know that they're not going to the Olympics and they're going to have a little bit of wiggle room in the schedule, not a ton because there's not a lot of building availability, that they have a little bit more room now to make up some of these games. And so you see this Capitals-Flyers game postponed tonight. That's just another reason to do so, is let's try and avoid as big a breakout as we can, an outbreak.
Love the chat, Frank. You could go on all day, but because of time restrictions, I only got one more question for you, or time for one more, and it's Daily Faceoff. Tell us about it and how much you're enjoying doing it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Tough decision to leave TSN last season, but really thrilled and fortunate to be at Daily Faceoff. And we want to be an all-encompassing hockey digital platform. Love what you do with your show. We've got a similar daily live show that's 12 noon Eastern every day on dailyfaceoff.com and YouTube. You can find it on Twitter. The viewers and people that have been coming to us, we're super appreciative and grateful. And we're looking to build that out. More shows, more podcasts, more talent, more writing, more breaking news to become that all-encompassing, independent digital hockey platform. So appreciate you allowing me to plug that. And looks like you are enjoying a nice warm day in South Florida.
There's no doubt, Frank, and I think of watching you on the shores of Boca Raton following the NHL governors meetings. You know the feeling. So yeah, and I can see how much you're enjoying it. The freedom. So good for you, man. So happy for you guys. Merry Christmas, Frank, and we'll see you along this NHL trail.
Thanks. All the best, Rod. Take care.
NHL insider Frank Seravalli joining us from Daily Faceoff with some interesting talk there. So how has this day turned out? We'll come back in hour 2, which of course is brought to you by Great Western Original 16 Beer. We'll continue the Taco Time viewer takeover. 2 things to get into here. Obviously, the CFL news that the Elks are going to hire Chris Jones as coach and GM, which isn't really a surprise, but we'll unpack that. And also Frank's revelation that there was no player vote from the NHL Players Association to not go to Beijing. And by the way, Frank was the one that broke that story this morning. I would love to get into these comments for Taco Time Viewer Takeover. We simply just don't have time. But I will say this. Every Tuesday is Taco Tuesday. For only $2 each, do you order hard or soft shell tacos? Beef or veggie? Think about it, then head to Taco Time. Hour 2 coming up after this on Game Plus, and right here on YouTube.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln.
I started the Shatler Lacrosse Academy 3 years ago, and my main goal for the province of Saskatchewan was to spread the game and the awareness of lacrosse. Jeff Shatler here, number 77 with the Saskatchewan Rush. I currently play forward, 16 years pro. I live, work, and play in the province of Saskatchewan. Direct West's mission is to grow Saskatchewan economy by helping small local businesses win with digital advertising services, but they are also a major supporter of local sport, art, and charitable organizations. Year after year, Direct West continues to put their money where their mouth is and ensuring the minor sports and art and music festivals can continue to thrive in our province. They continue to do all they can to promote our communities and assist nonprofit charitable organizations in the effort to improve the quality of life in the province of Saskatchewan. I'm proud to work with Direct West and call the province of Saskatchewan my home.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might hit your head. That could cause a traumatic brain injury that, depending on how severe it is, could take months to heal or leave you with long-term effects. Effects like getting debilitating headaches for the rest of your life. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds, feeling the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama, I live for the emotion. No one can take me down. Bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to RodPedersenShop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at RodPedersenShop.com.
I was fascinated last week that Jerry was pounding Egg McMuffins like it was his job and dousing them with salt because he didn't care because he's 80.
How about that?
So what better, shrimp cocktail or Egg McMuffin? Don't waste our time. It's Egg McMuffin all day. And don't get me started about those puny little cocktail rings that you buy. They're disgusting. Egg McMuffin's good anywhere.
That's right.
It's the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is. Welcome, everybody. Welcome inside the RP Show. Daytime sports talk coming to you from South Florida and the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a pretty happy guy. As you can see on the screen, we are brought to you by Great Western's Original 16 beer, and we'll talk about that a little later on in this hour as we welcome the Moose in. He comes to you from, what is it, Darren DuPont? Wynyard Composite School. Is that the official name of where you are hanging your hat today?
That's right, WCHS, the Wynyard Composite High School.
Love it. Love it. Hey, I got to ask you this. I was just going back and getting some screenshots of the interview with Frank Seravalli, the baby-faced assassin. And I'm looking at this going, listen, I set this up a little more so there's more tree views in the background here. And I'm thinking maybe this isn't the best, most flattering shot for me. Do I look fat? Is it too much of a God shot, as they say in the broadcast business? Should I go back to what it was before? Because Frank's supposed to be the one with the chubby cheeks, not me. That guy, he looks younger in HD from his home office than he did on TSN. I got to say, but should I go back to what I was before? What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. I mean, I don't know if the viewers are commenting, but I think it looks good. Hey, have I ever, I've got your back. Have I ever steered you wrong before?
No, you absolutely haven't. So if you think it's okay, then we'll continue. So, ring the bell, you effing pansy. Breaking news today. We got two things. Number one, Frank broke it. Was one of the first things I saw this morning when I got up. Was that the NHL and the players have agreed to not send the players to Beijing. There's been no official announcement from the NHL nor the Players Association, but it's coming. And I think if you saw the interview, he said that they had to notify the IOC first and blah, 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 blah. Frank's kicking ass on the insider trail, as you know, because he can say whatever he wants. Secondly, the other breaking news, which has come down in the last 20 to 25 minutes, is Chris Jones is going to be announced as the coach and general manager of the Edmonton Elks. And this might be the clip that lives in infamy on Twitter coming out of this show. Not that I'm going to say anything wild about it or whatever, but we do cover Canadian sports, and the CFL is a big part of Canadian sports, obviously, and the Edmonton Elks are a big deal. And it looks like Chris Jones is going to run the show there again. And Darren, if I'm just may, yesterday after the show, had supper at the beach, or lunch at the beach house, and young server came out to me and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing? I've seen you here before. I saw you here a couple months ago. Now you're back doing your show. What do you do?" And I said, "It's sports talk." And he said, "What do you talk about?" And I said, "The Canadian Football League, NHL, Canadian sports, what's big in Canada." And he's like, "CFL, is that a big thing?" And I'm like, "Pretty big thing. It's like the NFL of Canada, if I may." So he's like, "Cool." He's more into the NBA. I got to say, there's a lot of people asking if we'll do more NBA talk on the RP show, and that's not in the offing right now. Bowl games, yes. More and more NFL talk, yes. But I think we're going to stay with the cornerstone foundation still of this show because it's gotten us a long ways, and that is CFL, NHL, Major Junior, NLL, blah, blah, blah. So back to the Chris Jones thing. When he left to go to the NFL, I didn't think we'd ever see him again. So count me as the shocked here today, frankly, that he's in charge of the Edmonton Elks again. He was the best guy out there to hire. I didn't think we'd see the day.
I know. I'm with you on that. Like, I really am. Like, I was the same thing. I mean, I had that conversation with him right when he was in the airport, leaving, right after he left. And it sounded like a guy who was, like, really happy, and he was never coming back. Like, he was getting a one-way ticket down to Cleveland. And you just thought that's going to go where it's going to go. And then when he decided to take the Pittsburgh job, coaching high school, you're like, okay, he really wants to stay close to home. He wants to stay here and work his way back to the NFL, and that's that. But you know what? Coaches want to coach, and winners want to win, and competitors want to compete, right? And Chris Jones is all those things. You can argue whether he's a winner or not, but he's won, and he wants to win, and he wants to compete, and he doesn't want to sit there and let somebody else call the shots. He wants to call the shots because he thinks he knows what's best. And when this opportunity came up to go back to Edmonton, it's not about spurning the Edmonton football club. or about leaving. It's about opportunity, right? When he was in Edmonton, sure, he was the head coach, but he can come to Saskatchewan and he can have more control over player rosters. And as an entrepreneur mindset that I have, it's a little bit of the similar mindset as a coach. You're like, okay, I can coach this team, but I could also construct the roster, which would make my coaching easier. I could control it all. This is great. I got to do it, right? So now he sees that opportunity in Edmonton again, and he's happy to go back, I'm sure. No ill will towards the team. But as a fan, you see it, oh, I'm leaving them high and dry. But as Chris Jones, he only sees opportunity. And now this is a great opportunity for him to come back home to Edmonton.
Hour 2, by the way, is brought to you by Great Western's Original 16 beer. Extra smooth, extra refreshing. Find Original 16 at a store near you. And I'll just open up the Taco Time viewer takeover comments here a little early today. Taco Time. It is Taco Tuesday, by the way, $2 tacos. And I'm just going to leave it up to the commenters for a while, to stay amongst themselves for a while. And you and I will wrap. I mean, one thing about Chris Jones, so hiring him was easy, really. Proven, winner. Who else are you going to hire? Now they got to go find a president. I know some of the people that have interviewed for the job, and they're either close friends of Chris Jones, or they've worked with Chris Jones, or they at least know of Chris Jones. And one thing that you will never hear about Chris Jones is that he's hard to work with. You don't hear that from anybody. People may not like him in the league and so forth, but I mean, I've personally seen it with my own eyes. Chris, we need you to do this. All right. You know what I mean? Like, he's not obstinate in that way. He's just singularly focused on one thing, and that's winning, and that's it. And you can look back if you want. You know that the Edmonton Elks and Chris Jones are preferring to look forward. One thing that I have heard in the football circles is that, Chris Jones wasn't looked favorably upon for leaving that high school football program in the middle of their season. It is what it is. I don't think he's losing much sleep over it. But you look at, somebody wrote in here, was it Northside YEG? Somebody wrote in and said, what's the first order of business for Chris Jones in Edmonton? And that is a hell of a good question. You got Nick Fatty Arbuckle under contract, I think. You're probably like every other team and got 50-plus free agents, so you're probably getting on the phone and calling your top guys and trying to convince them to re-sign. I would think, Darren. I don't know. I mean, we haven't even talked about Trevor Harris getting cut yesterday by Montreal, which initially I'm like, the week of Christmas, this league is heartless. And then people are writing me going, well, you don't know. Maybe Trevor Harris wanted out. Maybe he knew that Vernon Adams was their guy. So this gives him a head start at looking at other teams. And I'm like, yeah, maybe. But you couldn't wait till after Christmas, really? But whatever. It's the way the CFL does business that I've never really understood. But back to the Jones thing. They'll find a president that can get along with Chris Jones. And away they go, and they won't look back. I feel bad for Jamie Elizondo, the head coach there last year, because this is the word in the league, is that nobody would have been successful in that environment under that president and under that GM. Yeah. So people feel bad for Jamie Elizondo. But now for the Edmonton Elks organization, this is pretty good news day today, I would think, Darren. What do you think this hiring means for Chris Jones, and what do you think, or for Edmonton, and what do you think his first order of business is?
Yeah, I think it's really good. Now, the fan base and the city has to get over him leaving, right? They have to move on from that and understand that it was chasing opportunities. We often leave home, do our thing, find a way back, or we make a new home or whatever. But people leave and do things for different reasons, and you have to look out of your own circle and understand, put yourself in somebody else's shoes to say, okay, why would you do this? And anyways, doesn't matter. He's here now, and we want to win. And I think he'll be able to turn that organization around. Now, will he be 100 players through like he was early on in Saskatchewan? Maybe. But I think, there's two thoughts here. First order of business, Chris Jones is a defensive coach. So that's probably where his attention will be first, is that defense. But if I'm Chris Jones, the first order of business is figuring out your quarterback situation. Who's going to be the guy handling the football? It's Nick Arbuckle, great. But Chris Jones, as we saw in his time here in Saskatchewan, he's got his own idea of what a Chris Jones quarterback is, right? The quarterback he wants to lead his team. So that's what he's got to do first. He's got to assess the available free agents. He's got to scout college. He's got to look at the guys he has, Taylor Cornelius, and, look at Nick Arbuckle. And he's got to find his quarterback first. That'll be the biggest key to the Elks' success.
Yeah, and I'm seeing some interesting comments coming in from the viewers here. From Nelson Hackowich, our VP of Sim Events, says, is it wrong that the GM coach hiring came before filling the role of president? Jeff Cabillas in Winnipeg says, yeah, it seems backwards. Guys, we were on that weeks ago, and I said that. How do you do this? How do you hire the GM before the president? But I was told I was an idiot. So I guess you guys are idiots because I had my hand slapped because we don't know anything. Somebody said Winnipeg can kiss Willie Jefferson goodbye. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says Winnipeg can kiss Jefferson goodbye. William in Lloydminster, Canada's only border city, says Trevor Harris going back to Edmonton now that they have a new boss. I mean, all of this is on the table, but one thing you can't discount is that the players follow Jones. And I do think there's a lot of, it's 1:11 Eastern, by the way. The opportunity portal's opening, Darren. Are you listening? Are you listening?
Let's go.
As everybody is perked up, viewership has picked up as they want to talk about Chris Jones to the Edmonton Elks. I feel so blessed and fortunate to have worked 3 years with the guy and have seen him work close up. I see why people follow him. I could sit and tell you Chris Jones stories until the alligators come home. By the way, I see Oleg in Winnipeg says he's worried that I'm going to be eaten by an alligator. Don't worry, if it hasn't happened yet, it ain't happening. But the one thing with Chris Jones, I remember when he came to Saskatchewan, he had a trusted guy working in the office that they had a long history. And I said, how do I prove myself to Jones? What do I need to know about with Jones? Because they said, with Jones, you're either with him or you're against him. There's no gray area. You're either on his side or you're not on his side. And I said, what do I need to do to prove that I'm on his side? And the guy said, just be you. Jones will like you. Jones likes you. You'll be good. So I just kind of conducted myself how I normally did, and Jones and I were great. But if you're on his team, you're on his team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're not on his team, God help you. And I'm kind of the same way. Right? I'm kind of the same type of person.
Like that.
Right. But I think that those coaches are going to follow Jones to Edmonton now. Most of these coaches are on one-year contracts anyways. I just wonder what it means with the coaching salary cap. I feel like that's loosey-goosey. All these free agents. I mean, Willie Jefferson being one, Jackson Jeff Goats another. He never played for Jones before, but everybody, maybe because Jones goes to Edmonton, Darren, they become the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of the CFL, i.e. Brady's there. We all want to go there. I'm not saying Chris Jones is the Tom Brady of the CFL, but you know what I mean. That becomes the destination place, which means you could be turned around pretty quick if you're the Edmonton Elks just because of one hire. Have you thought about that?
It's influence and it's attraction, law of attraction, right? It's law of attraction. And all of a sudden, it's an interesting market to play, right? It's an interesting market. Now, all of a sudden, the brand's got a little bit of buzz, the new brand that is the Elks. And, it's a nice city and there's a lot of good things working in their favor. And now you've got this coach. It'll be very interesting. This is something that really is going to spice up the CFL offseason. And that's what we're here for.
Spicy. I want to say hi to everybody watching the weekend show on Access right now because I feel this is a wonderful segment for the weekend show.
Yes.
That airs province border to border in the rectangle. I see some Edmonton fans aren't very happy with this hiring, and that's cool. If people see my eyes glazing, it's because I'm just surfing comments here as you talk. See what I want to read over the air here. From Tacona Powley in Winnipeg. Rod, do the Chris Jones voice. Well, Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, says the best thing here is we get to hear Chris Jones in media scrums again. Well, from William and Lloydminster, Rod, can you handle minus 30 when you come home? Who says I'm coming home? And William, just worry about you. How about that? Just worry about yourself.
How about
that? Jeff And Winnipeg says, looks like the NHL is officially done with the Olympics. From John Kirby in Edmonton. Breaking news from The Score. The NHL is officially out of the Olympics. You're testing me, guys. Frank Seravalli broke the story hours ago that the NHL's players are not going to the Olympics. And we had him on the show last hour. Let's get with it. As Johnny Athens says, you know what he says, Darren? Wake up and smell the coffee.
That's right.
Randy.
That's right. I haven't
Randy
seen
Nickel.
Johnny Athens in a while.
Go look him up. He's probably lurking in a parking lot near you.
That's
Randy
right. He's got
Nickel
family in
watching,
town.
right, from Cochrane, Alberta, says, will Jones and Murphy ride again? See, this is the storybook stuff that we all love about the CFL, and I wonder if the CFL loves it as much as we do. They don't want drama. They don't want gossip. They don't want intrigue. But that's what we all want. And hence the disconnect. Robin Stewart watching on YouTube says Jones lost in Saskatchewan. No, he didn't. He was moderately successful. And he went to the East
progressively
Final.
better every single year, right? And
yeah,
it was what it was at the beginning. Sure, he didn't win a Grey Cup. I get that. So moderately successful sums it up. Didn't finish the job.
From Oleg in Winnipeg says Oleg likes angry Rod. I'm about as angry as you're going to see me today because it's my last day before Christmas. Bob's your uncle. I'm going to Bass Pro Shop this afternoon, and Bob's your uncle. How could you possibly be mad? Jeff Cabillas in Winnipeg says, breaking news, Jeff Cabillas is late to the party again. # late news. We just flogged him, eh? You need to be in for 2 hours. If you're not in for 2 hours, you're junk. I see Ryan H. wants to talk about featured games tonight. There's not many to choose from, although you could choose from the Potato Bowl or the Frisco Bowl. We will take a timeout and return right after this. You're watching the RP Show. Merry Christmas, everybody. We're on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
A Landmark Cinemas $30 gift card with $40 in great movie savings is the perfect gift to give. Or give to yourself. Get yours today in theater or online at landmarkcinemas.com and make it a merry movie season. Landmark Cinemas, for movie lovers.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Our annual World Juniors preview is Christmas Eve, noon Eastern, noon to 2 here on Game Plus and YouTube Live. And we will be joined by members of Hockey Canada, as well as USA Hockey reporter from Elite Prospects, Julie Robenheimer, and also Calgary Flames broadcaster Peter Lou Bardius. And away we go, back in the air chair, as it will. The Moose is with us. And again, my phone's blowing up here. My internet's a little twitchy here. I'm very touchy with it after what happened yesterday. Although I went back and watched some of the clips. I think you guys were a little overboard on the internet being catchy yesterday. But anyways, my internet is going great. My phone's going nuts over the no NHLers to the Olympics. And I guess it's daytime sports talk. People have tuned in on Game Plus television here across all 10 provinces and 31 states to talk about the NHLers not going to the Olympics and also Chris Jones being hired by the Edmonton Elks. We spent most of the last segment talking about Chris Jones going to Edmonton. We can spend a lot of time on it here if you wish, but it would be a disservice to the hockey fans and the NHL fans and the Olympic fans to talk about the fact that players didn't go. And I don't know if you saw the Seravalli interview, Darren, but not only did Frank Seravalli of the Daily Faceoff break the story that they're not going, he said there was no actual vote. And I kind of wonder how that could be. Clearly he's right, but I would think it's a players' union. And if not a union, then for sure an association. How does it not go to a vote? Unless I guess you have elected officials that make that decision for the players on their behalf. Because McDavid said it was unsettling. Steven Stamkos said he wanted to go. Sidney Crosby said this morning he would be disappointed if they didn't go. And then news comes out that they're not going. So I just kind of wonder how this all came about.
I do too. And I understand and I respect if that's the process, that they've got elected officials, people running the organization that can make these decisions on a whim and not get everybody together. Maybe the player reps have to make the vote, whatever it ends up looking like, but you're going to get a mixed reaction. And you got some players like, very highly respected players like Sidney Crosby, who says he'd be disappointed. It's disappointing to think that we might not go to Beijing. Stamkos wanting to go, and that these protocols that you're hearing are the worst of the worst case scenarios, and it's probably not going to be that bad. You got other players who will say, no, I don't want to go. It's tough because they're not all on the same page. The Olympics is very special. And one thing we've learned too, when we postpone games, is your window to be at the elite level of your craft sometimes is very small, especially in sport. Other industries, you can be elite for a little bit longer, but in sport, it's tough. And you're kind of playing the luck game that your window of your timeline matches up with the leapfrogging every 4-year Olympic, right? So the players in the NHL that are at the elite level today that would go to represent Canada, I understand they'd be super disappointed because this is a lifetime, of memories. This is a real big goal for them. This is a wonderful moment. And even if they postponed the games to next year, those same players aren't guaranteed a spot to go. It's a tough thing.
I invite audience participation. And right now, the leader in the clubhouse for the Taco Time $50 gift card is Randy from the Peg. Clark, we have his number on the text line from the 902 who wrote in, Merry Taco Christmas and Happy Mexi Fries New Year. Simple, but it's got the job done.
Awesome.
But I welcome all your comments here. Ryan Jackson, watching on YouTube, somewhat rhetorically, I would suggest, has written in and says, hilarious how grown NHL players are canceling games and the World Juniors is still a go. What is the logic? Ryan says, I guess COVID doesn't affect the juniors. And I think he's just talking. I hope he's not looking for an answer from you and me because, well, I'm too stupid. I shouldn't speak for you. Maybe you've got an answer to that comment, but it's very similar to our opening segment, the warm-up, where the Vegas Golden Knights have postponed Thursday's game against LA because of COVID health and safety protocol, but they're playing tonight as it stands right now against Tampa, and people are saying they wrote into the Golden Knights Instagram page saying, so Thursday's a threat, but tonight isn't. That's kind of where we are in society right now. Nothing makes sense. And what does make sense? I think just to answer, though, to try and answer Ryan's question, they played the World Juniors last year without fans. They're moving ahead right now saying there will be fans, but that was as of last Friday. Things are changing from an hour ago. Like,
right.
Do you think that they're like, we have the framework already. We did it last year, so we're going to do it again with fans or without fans. How would you answer that?
Yeah, for sure. I would say they're different situations. Even the Tuesday to Thursday game in the NHL are two different situations. Likely the games that are being played tonight, the teams have already traveled. They've already arrived there. They're already there. So it's easy to keep everybody safe, keep them separated from fans and play the game. Traveling to other cities, going through security, doing all those things, that's a wrinkle. So you don't play Thursday. And same with the World Juniors. You shut down hockey at the National Hockey League level because there's travel and all these other things. The World Juniors, my understanding is the teams have already arrived. So we're not doing any extra travel. We're not adding, there's no added risk here. The players are there. They've got their own modified quarantines and hubs. They're going to go about business playing. They're not going to interact with fans. The only decision to be made is how many people will be allowed in the building. So it is completely different.
I think we have a new leader in the clubhouse. How do you like my sound effect? That's kind of a sucky truck horn, but
Rod?
I thought that was the garbage truck going by again.
We got a new leader.
Christmas time, and Rod's got a new toy.
It's like a semi. It's a parade of semis going by. It's just YouTube.
You are like, everybody listening is like every parent on Christmas. The kid got a new toy, and he's wearing it out. And you're like, can you just stop it for 1 second? I love it.
We got a new leader in the clubhouse for the comment of the week.
Real life, eh?
This is a job. This is a job. It's from Jack Fulton.
Rod?
Jack Fulton in Vulcan, Alberta says, as far as the Olympics, it's a matter of taco or not taco.
Bingo!
Sorry, Randy and Winnipeg. I could do this all day, and I might. I was trying to find this exact sound effect. The Florida Panthers play that when they score, when they come on the ice. It's like, it's startling in FLA Live Arena. Right now, Jack in Vulcan, Alberta, you are the new leader. You have nudged Randy from the Winnipeg out. But Randy could still say it, could still come back next week. As far as the Olympics, it's a matter of taco or not taco. They're both really good, though.
Oh, very good.
Anyways, back on point. I apologize for getting so off track and being a kid there for a second. Ryan has thanked us for answering his question, at least, and acknowledging him, because I don't think he was actually looking for an answer from us as to why the World Juniors is still a go, but the Olympics are not. Total different story, of course. You go halfway around the world. The Olympics are much bigger than the World Juniors, and trust me, I've been at both. Let's just spend some time on the Chris Jones thing for a second. Randolph Charles in Ontario says, I will say this about Chris Jones. Polarizing. You either love him or you hate him. And I don't really know why that is. Reminds me of a roast that I did for the former mayor of Regina, Pat Fiacco. I said, there's no either way. There's no in between with Mayor Fiacco. You either love him or you either hate him or you really hate him. It was a roast. It was a roast.
Well, that's funny on the love-hate thing with Chris Jones, but that's how you win, when people either love you or hate you. And for the most part, people in the gray, in the middle, kind of liked by most people, but kind of indifferent, very nice, warm, all that funny, fuzzy things. Those are great. You can last a long time, but that's how you win elections. That's how you win games. When people either love you or they hate you. Republicans or Democrats, conservatives or liberals. Chris Jones, you either love him or you hate him. And those guys and girls are capable of finding enough people that love them so much to create a winning team, right? To win an election, to do whatever you have to do, is be so polarizing, but find enough people on your side to get the job done. And that's what Chris Jones is traditionally able to do.
Chacona Powell in Winnipeg says, I could care less about Chris Jones, but sure love how Rod says his name. LOL. Randolph in Ontario. He says, when I went to school, nothing got done on the last day before Christmas, just like the RP show today. That's the thing. I'm feeling generous and not necessarily punchy. It's my last show before Christmas, and I just want to have fun. And I'll go back to the Chris Jones thing. I mean, I didn't think we'd ever see him again. I thought he was gone to the NFL. And after that, maybe he was going to stay in high school forever, because quite frankly, this is the one thing that people, I think, really need to understand. He was making more money in high school, South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, than a lot of CFL coaches make, based on exchange, based on taxes. Do you know what I'm saying, Moose? Oh, we lost Moose. Oh, Jeff Reinbold tried logging in too early. One quick comment from Sean McCormick at Game Plus Television, watching in the control room right now in downtown Toronto. If the people in Edmonton don't want Jones, Hamilton would sure take him off their hands if Steinauer ends up in Washington. So there you go. Chris Jones, not the most warm and fuzzy guy, but he wins. What do you want? As John Lynch says, nice guys run the Kinsman Club. Jeff Reinbold joins us next. You're watching the RP Show, coming to you from South Florida on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
It's the RP Show on this winter solstice, by the way. Happy winter solstice to everybody. Another beautiful day here in South Florida. It's the RP Show. Daytime sports talk and breaking news today. 2 items. Number 1, Frank Seravalli, who was with us last hour from the Daily Faceoff, breaking the news. NHL players have voted not to go to the Beijing Games. And number 2, the Edmonton Elks are poised to name Chris Jones as their next head coach and general manager. Announcement forthcoming. So quite a few things to get into with our good friend Jeff Reinebold, Hamilton Tiger Cats special teams coordinator, who joins us from the island.
Hawaii.
Big island, little island. Coach, yeah, what's up?
There's only one island, and that's the big island, Hawaii.
I got you. Haven't been, but when I am for the first time, I'll look you up, Coach. How's life, man, since Grey Cup? How are things with you?
It's great to be home, Rod. This is such an amazing place. But I'm going to tell you something. I run a far, far distant second to you, because you're the only guy I know that could have a show that headquarters out of Regina, Saskatchewan, but you record on the beach in Florida. You are my hero.
How about that?
Thank you, Coach. Well, as you know, you're mine. And you asked if I was coming to the Hammer for the Grey Cup, and I said, I'm good here. I'm watching in the living room. And but I missed a hell of a game, and quite an effort by your guys. Do you ever get over something like that, the 33-25 overtime loss to the Bombers in the Grey Cup?
Yeah, you got to get over it, because that's what the job requires. I mean, if you're going to lay around and, suck your thumb and lick your wounds, you're going to get beat. I mean, everything in this business, Rod, as you know, this is a high-performance industry. And you got to put wins and losses behind you real fast and get on with the next task at hand, or you're going to get your butt beat. That's just the way it works. And so are we disappointed? Yeah. Am I personally disappointed? Yeah. But the reality of it is, we had a great season. It was a great Grey Cup. It was a Grey Cup that I think our game needed, and our league needed, and our country needed. And, that kind of passion at the stadium, the biggest crowd in the history of Tim Hortons Field, a game that goes to overtime, and two teams that played extremely hard. I just thought it was really what the Grey Cup should be.
Well, that's why you've lasted so long. Obviously, you're a great coach. That's the biggest reason, but also your positivity. But I would be remiss, Jeff, if I didn't ask about the Rouge concession a couple minutes into the fourth quarter by Tim White. If I got to ask you about it, your take on it, and did it have as big a bearing on the game as some have led us to believe that it cost the Ticats the game?
Well, first of all, Orlando's addressed that already, and again, we are in lockstep on everything in our organization. Again, it's one of those things, and this is what happens in huge football games, and in every football game, but they're multiplied when you get into huge games. Every decision, every play takes on magnitude, and again, we can sit afterwards with hindsight, and you can say, well, you should have done this and you should have done that. And I don't think that's fair. I think Mike really, was the voice of reason. I mean, here's the guy that won the game, and he comes out and says, yeah, I think Orlando made the right decision in that case. So he wasn't doing that to protect Orlando. He was doing it because he's answering the question honestly. And, it's hard. It's really hard for anybody who's not in those situations to really understand it, and the whole, all of the things that you take into consideration as you're making those decisions. So, again, criticism comes with the territory, and again, like I said, Orlando's addressed it, and as far as I'm concerned, it's on to the first game of training camp in 2022.
Absolutely. And for those that don't know, O said it was a good decision. It was for field position. I think he almost said I'd have done the same thing. So, yeah, I want to move on, but just one thing. Did the football get better, Coach, as the season went along? Because the playoffs were great. The Grey Cup was great. Every league has stinkers. We saw a 9-0 game on Sunday Night Football the other night. But as overall football, what was your take on the quality of football this year? And did it get better as the year went along in your mind?
Yeah, Rod, I think that when you look at the way the season went and you consider that there were no preseason games and there was so much, we were limited so much in terms of even communication with the players in the offseason and preparation, getting them ready to play. Certainly Saskatchewan, had that crazy first day where they lost all those players to injury. When you consider all of the things that were stacked against us, to be able to play an entire season, number one, and to be able to play at the level that I thought the players played was really a credit to them and credit to everybody in strength and conditioning, the trainers, the people that handled the COVID protocols, everybody in the league. It really was an amazing thing. I mean, we're looking at the National Football League in its second year of the COVID situation, and you saw the game the other night where the Browns, they really have no chance against the Raiders because they're so depleted because of the COVID deal. With the exception of the little blip that you had up in Edmonton, we didn't have any of that. And I think that's a credit to the league. It's a credit to the players that had to live through the protocols, and the coaches that had to live through the protocols, and everybody that was a tier one person, that had to live through all those protocols and was unselfish enough to do it for the good of the league. I think that was really outstanding. It says an awful lot about the kind of players we have in our league.
Well, I would love to get your take on this, and I don't know if you'll address it on Sky Sports or not, your take on this, but the coaches, I get where they're coming from in all leagues, that you're losing games because you don't have your best players. They're in COVID protocol. You mentioned Cleveland. They're starting their third-string quarterback Monday night because their top two tested positive for COVID, and they're not sick. And Kevin Stefanski could be fired if they finish in last in the AFC North this year. Like, it doesn't seem very fair to me, Coach. The coaches aren't getting a pass for losses despite COVID complications. What's a coach's view on that?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. If you want fair, you don't go into coaching because it just doesn't work that way. I mean, you sign up for everything in this business. And we have a saying, or, I have a saying that I learned from Coach Vermeil, is that basically, if you want credit, go to the bank. I mean, what we sign up for is, an unfair situation. Kevin Stefanski's an outstanding coach, and he's done an amazing job, putting that organization back together after, the mess that it was in 2 years ago. And if you'd have asked him when he took that job, well, this is what's going to happen, Kevin. You know, you're going to have a pandemic and you're going to lose players and da-da-da-da-da-da. So do you want the job or don't want the job? I bet you, I bet your next paycheck, Rod, that Kevin Stefanski would say, yeah, I want that job, because, you know, there's only, when you count the 9 in the CFL and the 32 in the NFL, there's you know, I'm not a math guy, but I think that's 41. There's only 41 of them in the whole world. And, you know, they're coveted jobs. And so you just understand that comes with the territory.
Special people. And I know that, and that's why I've never been hard on coaches, because I've seen it from the inside out. I would never want to do it, but it's special people that do. Mike Lee, by the way, good friend of mine, oil man, says, aloha from Maui, Jeff. I got 2 Hawaii guys on this show. We're talking CFL. Got it. Okay, good friend of mine. He's spending the holidays in Maui. What's up for you, Coach? You gonna get on the NFL trail now? Or what's up?
We're like everybody else. You know, I'm really fortunate that the Ticats have been good enough to let me go over and do broadcasting in England. Normally I go as soon as our season's over, but because the season got pushed back and all of that, I'm going to go right about New Year's, and I'll spend January in London working for SkySports, go to the Super Bowl, we'll broadcast the Super Bowl, and then I'll come back to Hawaii and we'll start ramping up for, you know, the 2022 CFL season. Everybody's pretty much in the same boat right now. I think, you know, whether you're a free agent, whether you're a coach, whether you're, you know, a front office guy, you know, there is one thing that's for certain in pro football is that there's going to be change. And we've already seen it in our organization. We lost Sean Burke, who's a outstanding football guy and good person. And, you know, he's really going to help Ottawa. I think, you know, it got tougher to win in the East when Sean went over there. And we lost our strength coach, Ike Brown, who's outstanding, not only with the players, but, you know, in every aspect of what he did for our organization. He went to take a job at LSU, and, you know, you can't help but know that in this business, whether it's players, coaches, or, you know, front office guys, none of us has, you know, a chair with their name on the back of it. You know, it's somebody's going to be sitting in this chair when I'm done, and, you know, that's just the way it works.
Quick question. What's your happy place if I had to hold your feet to the fire? Hawaii or the sidelines?
You know, it's funny, Rod. People ask me that question every once in a while, like, you're a lifer, man. You're going to do this forever. I hope I'm not like Tom Moore and I'm worrying about, you know, getting a punt block when I'm 83 years old. There's a lot that I love. There's a lot that I love about life that, you know, I want to do while I'm healthy enough to do. And, you know, whether that's surfing or, you know, all the physically active things that I like to do. One of the great things about the CFL is that it gives us an opportunity to have a life outside of football. I look at my friends in the National Football League, you know, Rob Ryan and, you know, Thomas McGahee and all the buddies I got in that business. And I'm going to tell you something, Rod, their lives are really, I mean, it is a grind. That is a meat grinder of a business. And yes, they get paid extremely well, and it's the highest level of competition and all of that. But, boy, they certainly don't have the kind of opportunities that we have in the Canadian Football League.
I know, for sure. That's why we love it so much. Coach, Merry Christmas. All the best in 2022. Let's keep in touch. You're an absolute gem, very special person. I appreciate the time.
Mele Kalikimaka to you too, Rod, and everybody at the RP show. Again, love your work and keep doing your thing.
Same to you, Coach. Thanks. The only Hawaiian I know, Mele Kalikimaka. Merry Christmas. Jeff Reinbold joining us from Hawaii. We'll be right back with overtime and what I think will be a very interesting Taco Time viewer takeover. You're watching the RP show on this Tuesday, winter solstice, on the Game Plus television network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall. Or you might sprain your wrist, or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. And big time, big time, big time, big time.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Hey, Matt, how's it going? We have something really special.
Holy, it's pretty impressive.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Join us Christmas Eve. Our annual World Junior Preview special comes your way at noon Eastern here on Game Plus Television with guests from Hockey Canada, Alan Miller and Mike Dick, podcaster Peter Labardius, and from Elite Prospects, USA Hockey's Julie Robenheimer. Well, very special last segment for me heading into the Christmas break. We bring the Moose back on, I believe, for Overtime, which is brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Your home for the UFC, the NHL, Christmas, and whatever else you need. From my cousin Christine Darren in Medicine Hat. She says, thanks, RP Show, for buying supper tonight at Taco Time. Going to try a crisp meat burrito. I've never had one. Well, Chris, get your workout in afterwards. Those suckers are like 900 calories, I think. But, ooh, so good. It's my favorite. I got to say this again. Found a good one. We got a new leader for the Taco Time comment of the week. It's from Jack Fulton in Alberta, who says, gotta absolutely love Coach Jeff Reinbold, solid guy. Randolph Charles, watching in Ontario, says, Graham Kelly told me that's why Huff came back to the CFL. He was at the Giants facility at 5:30 a.m. and not back home until 10 at night. And there's a lot of Merry Christmases coming in. I appreciate that, Jennifer, from the Four Seasons. And Buford writes, and he says, why would you even want taco to China in the first place. Stop it. I'm awarding the winner, Jack in Vulcan, Alberta. Okay, you can keep commenting in, but stop trying to win it. Carlos in Indianapolis says, last RP show of the year. Have a great Christmas and New Year. No. The last for me. Moose, you're coming in over the next couple of days. We're on every day on Game Plus
Every
TV.
day.
You should explain. Yeah, you should explain
Every
what's going on.
day. So I'll be hosting tomorrow and Thursday. And I think, Clark, can I spell those two guys in my ear? Justin Dunk will co-host, I think, tomorrow.
Ooh, how about that?
Darren Bombing from Winnipeg is going to co-host with me on Thursday. So we got 2 more days of shows. We're going to continue to follow what's going on in the NHL. We're going to lead you up to the Christmas weekend, more on the World Juniors. Then on Friday, Rod will be back, but not here live, I guess. Is that what we want to say? For the World Junior preview show. That's on Friday. And then next week will be all of our best of the year shows. So we'll be hosting those, but we'll be throwing to clips. We'll be bringing out some great memories. We'll be doing things, bringing back some of the best funny moments and things like that from the past year. So that'll be next week between Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, it's an interesting time of year. I've been putting together some commentaries for the radio stations that carry my commentaries. And by the way, if there's any radio stations out there listening that want to carry my commentary daily, get a hold of Darren. But it's the year of the back-to-back champions. Tampa Bay Lightning, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I was sitting there thinking about this stuff, Darren, just doing year-end stuff. You've probably thought about all this stuff because you've been doing more year-end work than me. And then I started to think about the NLL. And I'm like, who's last champion of the NLL? Wait a minute. They didn't even have one last year. Was it not the Calgary Roughnecks from 20? When's the last time the NLL handed out their trophy? I don't even remember.
Yeah, 2019 would have been the Roughnecks. In June of 2019 would have been the Roughnecks. 2018 was the Rush. And then in 2020, they didn't hand out a championship award. And I think the Rush were 7-3 to start the year. The Roughnecks were 5-5. But yeah, you're right. Calgary's the defending champ.
Ryan in New York. Merry Christmas, Rod. Don't forget to leave a taco and Diet Coke for Santa on Christmas Eve. I think Taco Time does Pepsi products. Just putting that out there. Yeah, Jeff, the Stamps fan, says Calgary Roughnecks, as you have just confirmed, are still the defending champions of the NLL. And anyways, I will leave you with this on the Reinebold comments on the CFL. I mean, this guy's still in the CFL. He's still slugging it out. And I love that. I think we're still in the CFL in a way in terms of covering it. I just feel like we're not on the same page necessarily with the CFL as to how things should go, and that's fine. But I love the CFL just as much as Jeff Reinbold does. But I think if we had made this a CFL-only show, what the hang would we have done for all of 2020? I love being able to talk about the NHL and junior hockey and NLL and basketball when we have to and everything else. But I love the CFL. I love what the CFL was, and I just wonder if it's ever going to get back to that. I guess part of the fun part is following the daily fortunes of the CFL because Chris Jones is back, and we'll always do our CFL thing. The CFL is great. And I look at the NFL. I got a lot of friends in the NFL, too, that it ain't what it's. You see them on TV every Sunday. You don't see the other 6 days where it is a grind. And it's not for everybody. But the CFL is very special. All these leagues are very special. Darren, you're very special, as is all of our staff and the viewers. Merry Christmas, and the Moose will be back in that chair tomorrow at noon Eastern. For the rest of you, happy holidays. See you in 2022.
We don't know what we're doing.
go. Oh, no. Hot take. I like it. Awesome. Spicy. LFG.